or were part of the actual examination and subsequent, perhaps, disposal of the bodies that were recovered.
A lenda do disco de Roswell e dos corpos alienígenas alastrou-se pelos anos. Até hoje é um ícone do suposto disfarce para encobrir a existência de OVNIs. Russ Estes é produtor de documentários e estudou o caso Roswell.
The incident at Roswell, New Mexico is probably our best possible scenario for alien contact because of the number of witnesses involved, the reports of debris, the type of debris, the amount of cover-up that has most obviously taken place over the years. It keeps drawing us back to Roswell 50 years later saying, you know, this is the one that requires the hardest look.
Natural de Roswell, Frank Rowe recorda as impressões do pai sobre o acidente.
He was so excited he couldn't hardly talk. He told us that they had gotten a call that morning. They thought they were going to go out to a plane crash. And when they got out there, what it actually was the crash of a flying saucer. And he said that when they arrived, there was one little person that was still walking around outside of the craft, and two that they knew were dead because they had already been covered over and wrapped up in what he called body bags. They all knew the sadness. They could feel the sadness that this little person had over losing the companions. And the person told them that they couldn't help in any way. So they had only been there just a few minutes when the military arrived. And after the military got there, they chased them away.
The problem now is that it's half a century old. And we're left with this question as well, how good the memory is, how much is being distorted, how much are we leading the memory? And there's no way to really tell at this point what's totally objective, what's subjective, except the few people who were directly threatened by the military and told that if they divulged what they had heard or what they had seen, their bodies would be found, or their bleached bones would be found decades later under the sands in New Mexico.
Something happened at Roswell. Best guess that we have found was contact by an alien craft. If someone were looking at us, looking for a signal, in 1945, 100 miles from Roswell, a signal was set off. It was called the atomic bomb. After that, the only place in the world where rockets were being launched into space was right outside of Roswell. Atomic testing continued right outside of Roswell. The only nuclear strike base in the world was at Roswell. Beacons, lots of beacons. So consequently, there's the place to look.
De acordo com pessoas do lugar, o disco de Roswell e os corpos dos alienígenas foram levados para uma base secreta perto de Groom Lake, Nevada, conhecida como Área 51. A Força Aérea nunca confirmou a existência desta base, mas ela é famosa mesmo assim. Interessados vão para picos distantes a fim de avistar aeronaves incomuns, realizando manobras como as dos OVNIs.
A bright object is being spotted right there, suddenly.
There have been rumors for more than 20 years that the government has acquired either partially destroyed or intact UFOs that have either been captured or given to us through some mechanism. There have been a lot of unusual aeroforms seen, videotaped, photographed in the area that display behavioral characteristics, meaning flight dynamics, which are highly atypical of fixed-wing or rotorcraft, producing high-G maneuvers and sudden shifts in directional attitude that aircraft we know of today cannot duplicate. We don't have any hardware, we don't have any software, we don't have any bodies, so we're left, the question is, it's open for conjecture, speculation, and until something more substantial comes forward, there's not much we can do about it.
Algo substancial pode já ter surgido. Na primavera de 1961, Robert Dean viu algo sobrenatural no céu.
And it was out about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning on the West Range, and we were out there because Republic, or one of the aircraft companies, was preparing to launch a radio-controlled drone. Just about 7:30, I believe it was, somebody started pointing over a little farther to the west. We all turned our head. We looked over there and we saw an absolutely beautiful what I remember as a metallic object, 200 yards away, roughly 100 feet above the ground. And it was sitting there, motionless, silent. But it was so streamlined and so aerodynamically shaped and so beautiful, and it was reflecting the morning sun.
O objeto não produziu som algum, nem os homens presentes à cena.
We were all standing there with our mouths hanging open. The object began to bob a little more, and then all of a sudden it began to move away. And then, at an incredible rate of speed, it rose and flew out of sight. And then, of course, all of us being in the military, either military or civilian, we were sworn to secrecy. Most of us who were present that day assumed we had seen a high-tech U.S. Air Force or Army piece of technology up there. The fact that we were sworn to secrecy, the fact that we were all debriefed thoroughly, I was not to realize until later what we had really seen that morning. It was a UFO.
O definitivo contato ufológico foi retratado nos anos 70 no cinema. Apesar do sucesso comercial, contatos imediatos do terceiro grau não nos aproximou da verdade. O interesse nos OVNIs declinou, principalmente devido à falta de evidências. Então, cerca de uma década depois, o céu se encheu de evidências. Em 1987, um fazendeiro suíço, Billy Meyer, divulgou dezenas de fotos que teria tirado de OVNIs e afirmou ter tido vários contatos com extraterrestres. Pesquisadores estudiosos de ufologia dos Estados Unidos visitaram Meyer e o entrevistaram.
A person who came out of the disc.
Person came out?
Yeah. And when the person came out of the left side of the trees there, I have seen that it is a woman.
And you sat here and talked to her?
Yeah, then we was talking here for about 1 hour or 1 hour and a quarter, something like that.
Did she give you a name? What did you call her?
Yeah, she told me her name is Semyase.
Semyase?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this case has become intensely tangled up. For one thing, many people tried to figure out how Billy took the pictures, and so they made models of their own. And pictures faked or representations of the saucers were put in Billy's hands and were part of his collection. Investigators would come to the farm, find these pictures among the, quote, valid Billy Meyer pictures, walk away with them, do the science, find the string, determine that one Billy Meyer picture is a hoax, and hence all of Billy Meyer's pictures are a hoax. And this logic doesn't necessarily hold. What you're looking for is the one Billy Meyer picture that you can prove is not a hoax. But we can tell you that this photo is of a craft as big as Billy said it was, as far away from the camera as Billy said it was, with no apparent means of aerodynamic support and of a solid object of some material and not a photographic fake.
No mesmo ano em que Meyer tirou as fotos, um construtor, Ed Walters, registrou essas imagens durante 6 meses na cidade de Gulf Breeze, perto de Pensacola, Flórida. O Dr. Bruce McCabe, um físico óptico que já trabalhou com a inteligência naval, analisou as fotografias e as imagens de Ed Walters.
The most important thing about Ed's July 21st video is the presence of a shadow of the UFO on the trees, the tree line on the other side of Santa Rosa Sound. And you can see when the UFO comes into the field of view from the left-hand side, moves over towards the right, reverses and goes back off to the left. At the same time the UFO is moving, you can see a darkening, a shadow that moves along the tree line over to the right, stops, and then moves back to the left again. And that is something that I don't think anyone has ever captured on video before.
It's his analysis, and it's been heavily criticized by others in the field because some of it doesn't add up, some of it does add up. They think it was models, and unfortunately, models were found in Ed Walters' old house that generically conformed to the shape of some of the vehicles that were photographed. So here we go again with another case that could be, couldn't be, maybe. It seems like there's always some disinformation or misinformation involved, and the further one looks into the case, the more problematic it becomes. And like everything else in ufology, it ends with a big question mark.
É essa interrogação que impulsiona a busca. Existe alguma prova? Estudando as lendas, ouvindo as fábulas, a resposta parece tão obscura quanto a fonte do círculo de fogo do faraó. Uma coisa está clara. Há séculos, milhares de pessoas de todas as partes do globo afirmam terem visto no céu coisas inexplicáveis. Reais ou não, os OVNIs tornaram-se parte da nossa cultura. A maioria das pessoas sente-se inclinada a acreditar neles, mesmo sem provas científicas. Ao buscarmos estranhos objetos nos céus, esperando encontrar respostas para tantas perguntas, talvez realmente vejamos a nós mesmos.